For this video, we will going to discuss about the three flow measurement devices, which are Venturi, Orifice, and Pitot. So let's begin. I am Shena May De Vera and I will be discussing about the Venturi. So, ang Venturi principle ay pinangalan po kay Giovanni Battista Venturi na isang Italian scientist from 18th century. Siya yung naka-invento ng the famous Venturi effect which is nowadays used in various fields. Venturimeter, a device meant for measuring the quantity of a liquid flowing through a pipe in its simplest form. The device consists of a short converging section leading to a throat and followed by a divergent section. The entrance and the exit diameters will be the same as that of the pipeline to which is fitted. So, ang Venturi is a mga flow measurement device apparatus that uses the Venturi effect to measure or control the flow of liquid or gas. Venturi effect refers to the change in the speed and pressure of a fluid or gas as it passes through a narrow section of a tube channel. So, a Venturi tube is a device designed to utilize the Venturi effect. It consists of three main parts: the converging section, the part of the tube where the diameter gradually decreases; throat, the narrowest part of the tube where the flow is fastest and the pressure is lowest; and lastly is the divergent section, wherein the part of the tube where the diameter gradually increases again. Next, the governing equations. The Venturi effect can be quantitatively described using the continuity equation and Bernoulli's equation. Continuity equation. The continuity equation ensures the conservation of mass for an incompressible fluid. A sub 1, B sub 1 is equal to A sub 2, B sub 2, wherein A sub 1 and A sub 2 are the cross-sectional area of the pipe at points 1 and 2, and B sub 1 and B sub 2 are the fluid velocities at points 1 and 2. So, continuity equation. The continuity equation is a fundamental principle in fluid dynamics that ensures the conservation of mass in a fluid flow system. It states that for an incompressible fluid, one whose density remains constant, the mass flow rate must remain constant from one cross-section of a pipe to another. Mathematical formulation for a fluid flowing through a pipe with varying cross-sectional areas, the continuity equation is expressed as A sub 1, B sub 1 is equal to A sub 2, B sub 2, wherein A sub 1 and A sub 2 is the cross-sectional area at point 1 and 2, and B sub 1 is the fluid velocity at point 1, and B sub 2 is the fluid velocity of point 2. So, conservation of mass. The continuity equation is derived from the principle of conservation of mass for an incompressible fluid. The amount of fluid entering a section of the pipe must equal to the amount of fluid exiting the section. So, and regarding about flow rate, the product of the cross-sectional area and the velocity at any point in the pipes gives the volumetric flow rate. The flow rate remains constant along the pipe, so Q1 is equal to Q2, wherein Q1 is equal to A sub 1, B sub 1, and Q2 is equal to A sub 2, B sub 2. So, implication for velocity, if the cross-sectional area of the pipe decreases, as in a venturimeter, the fluid velocity must increase to maintain a constant flow rate. Conversely, if the cross-sectional area increases, the fluid velocity decreases. Next is the Bernoulli's equation in Venturi. Bernoulli's equation relates the pressure, velocity, and height in the following fluid. So, pressure 1 plus 1 half density velocity 1 sub 1 squared plus density gravity height sub 1 is equal to P sub 2 plus 1 half density velocity sub 2 squared plus density gravity height squared sub 2. So, P1 and P2 are the pressures at point 1 and 2, and densities of fluid density. B1 and B2 are the fluid velocities at point 1 and 2, and H1 and H2 are the heights at points 1 and 2. Often, H1 is equal to H2 if the pipe is horizontal. Combining these two equations helps explain the Venturi effect. As the fluid enters a narrow section of the pipe, its velocity increases and its pressure decreases. So, Bernoulli's equation is a fundamental principle in fluid dynamics that relates the pressure, velocity, and height in different points along streamline. For an compressible and non-viscous fluid, it expresses the conservation of mechanical energy in the fluid flow. Bernoulli's equation. For a streamline flow, Bernoulli's equation is given by P plus 1 half density velocity squared plus density gravity height is equal to constant, wherein P is the fluid pressure, density is the fluid density, B is the fluid velocity, G is the acceleration due to gravity, and H is the height above a reference level. So, application in venturimeter. A venturimeter consists of a convergent section, a throat or the narrowest part, and a divergent section. It measures the flow rate by taking advantage of the relationship between pressure and velocity changes as fluid flows through different cross-sectional areas. In the context of a venturimeter, Bernoulli's equation can be simplified, assuming the height difference H is negligible or horizontal flow. P sub 1 plus 1 half density B sub 1 squared is equal to P sub 2 plus 1 half density velocity squared sub 2. So wherein P1 and P2 all are the pressure and at the entrance and the throat of the venturimeter, and B sub 1 and B sub 2 are the velocities at the entrance and the throat, and densities of fluid density assume that it is constant. So pressure velocity relationship according to Bernoulli's equation, when fluid velocity increases, the pressure decreases, and vice versa. In a venturimeter, as the fluid enters the narrower throat, its velocity increases, causing a drop in pressure at the throat. Measurement principle: by measuring the pressure difference between the wider section, entrance, and the narrow section or the throat, and knowing the cross-sectional areas, the flow rate of the fluid can be calculated using continuity equation and Bernoulli's equation together. Application: the Venturi effect has several practical applications across different fields. So flow measurement. First, the flow measurement. Venturimeter are used to measure the flow rate of fluids in pipelines by measuring the pressure difference between the wide and narrow sections. The flow rate can be calculated. Ang Venturi effect ay may ilang practical na applications sa iba't ibang fields. Halimbawa nito ay ang water treatment plant. Sa isang municipal water treatment plant, karaniwang ginagamit ang venturimeters upang subaybayan at sukatin ang daloy ng tubig through various stages of the treatment process. Water treatment plants needs to accurately measure the flow rates to ensure that the right amount of water is being processed and treated at each stage. A venturimeter is installed in the pipeline that carries raw water into the plant. Second is the aspirators. Aspirators are vacuum pumps utilize the Venturi effect to create a vacuum by accelerating a fluid through a narrow constriction, reducing the pressure at that point. Ginagamit ang venturimeter sa mga medical aspirators devices na lumilikha ng suction upang tanggalin ang bodily fluid o gases sa panahon ng surgical procedures o pangangalaga sa pasyente. Ang mga medical aspirators ay umaasa sa Venturi effect upang lumikha ng vacuum na epektibong sumisipsip ng fluids tulad ng mucus, blood o iba pang secretions mula sa dadaan ng hangin ng pasyente o sa lugar ng operasyon. Carburetors. In carburetors of internal combustion engines, the Venturi effect is used to mix air with fuel. The reduction in pressure in the narrow part of the carburetor draws fuel into the airstream. Sa mga carburetor ng internal combustion engines, ginagamit ang Venturi effect upang ihalo ang hangin sa gasolina. Ang pagbawas ng pressure ng pakitid na bahagi ng carburetor umihigop ng gasolina papunta sa daluyan ng hangin. In a traditional carburetor found in cars, motorcycles, and other vehicles, the Venturi effect is essential for creating the correct mixture of air and fuel for combustion in the engine. Fourth, medical devices, nebulizers, and atomizers in medical application. Use the Venturi effect to create a fine mist of medication for inhalation therapy. Nebulizers and atomizers sa mga medical application ay gumagamit ng Venturi effect upang lumikha ng pinong mist na gamot para sa inhalation therapy. In medical devices like nebulizers and atomizers, the Venturi effect is used to convert liquid medication into a fine mist that can be easily inhaled by patients, making the delivery of respiratory treatments more effective. Industrial processes. The Venturi effect is employed in various industrial processes to mix gases or to introduce chemicals into a fluid stream. Ang Venturi effect ay ginagamit sa iba't ibang industry na proseso upang haluin ang mga gas at magpasok ng chemicals sa isang daluyan ng liquid. In industrial processes, the Venturi effect is utilized to effectively mix gases or introduce chemicals into a fluid stream, ensuring proper blending and distribution. And lastly, the ventilation system. Venturi tubes are used in ventilation system to control airflow and ensure efficient air distribution. Ang mga Venturi tubes ay ginagamit sa mga sistema ng ventilasyon upang kontrolin ang daloy ng hangin at tiyakin ang mabisang distribution ng hangin. Sa mga gusali, pabrika o anumang structure, may mga sistema ng ventilasyon. Ang mga Venturi tubes ay mahalaga upang mapanatili ang tamang daloy ng hangin at maipamahagi nito ng mahusay sa buong lugar.
A pleasant day to everyone. My name is Maricar Echavarria, and I will discuss about our second topic, which is pitot tubes. The pitot tube is named after the French engineer Henri Pitot, who used a bent glass tube to measure velocities in a river in France in the 700s. They are widely utilized in various fields, including aerodynamics, meteorology, and industrial applications. A pitot tube is a simple device meant for measuring the velocity of a liquid at any point. In its simple form, the pitot tube consists of a glass tube whose lower end is bent at right angles. The device is placed in a moving liquid with the lower opening directed in the upstream direction. The pitot tube has an open end that faces directly into the fluid flow. When fluid enters this end, it is brought to a halt, or the stagnation point, and its kinetic energy is converted into pressure energy. This creates a higher pressure called the stagnation or total pressure. So the static pressure is measured using the static port, which is typically a series of small holes on the side of the tube or a separate static tube. These holes are perpendicular to the fluid flow and measure the pressure exerted by the fluid without any influence from its velocity. And then, the Bernoulli's equation relates the pressure and velocity of a fluid flow. It states that the total pressure or the stagnation pressure is the sum of the static pressure and the dynamic pressure, which is the pressure due to the fluid's velocity. So in summary, a pitot tube measures the stagnation pressure and static pressure in a fluid flow. By applying Bernoulli's equation, the fluid velocity can be accurately determined. Let's move to the advantages and disadvantages of pitot tubes. Here I have listed 3 of each advantages and disadvantages. First is simplicity and cost-effectiveness. Pitot tubes are relatively simple devices with straightforward construction, making them cost-effective compared to more complex flow measurement instruments. Second one is wide range of applications. So they are versatile and can be used in a variety of environments, from airspeed measurements in aviation to fluid flow in industrial processes. And third advantage is durability. It is made from robust materials, so pitot tubes can withstand harsh conditions, making them suitable for use in demanding environments. The disadvantages of pitot tube include limited to clean fluids. So pitot tubes are generally best suited for clean fluids. In dirty or particulate-laden environments, performance and accuracy can be compromised. So second is susceptibility to clogging. Pitot tubes can become clogged by debris or particulate matter in the fluid, which can affect accuracy and require frequent cleaning. And the third disadvantage is placement inside the pipework is critical. Maybe you are wondering whether or not pitot tubes are important in electrical engineering. So pitot tubes, though primarily associated with fluid dynamics, hold significant importance for electrical engineers in various applications and contexts. I have listed some of its importance in the field of electrical engineering. First is wind turbine optimization. In the renewable energy sector, particularly in wind energy, pitot tubes are used to measure wind speeds accurately. This data helps electrical engineers optimize turbine performance and efficiency. Second is environmental monitoring. Electrical engineers use pitot tubes in systems designed for environmental monitoring, such as measuring wind speeds for weather stations and environmental impact assessments. Third is airspeed sensors. Electrical engineers working in aerospace and aviation heavily rely on pitot tubes for airspeed measurement. Accurate airspeed data is critical for flight control systems, navigation, and safety. And the last one that I have listed is innovation in measurement technologies. Electrical engineers contribute to developing advanced measurement technologies where pitot tubes are.
Hello everyone, my name is Mervin John U. Marquez and I will be discussing the orifice meter, one of the flow measurement devices. So what is an orifice meter? So it is a device used to measure the flow of a liquid through a pipe. It consists of flat plate containing a circular orifice provided concentrically with the pipe across the flow. It is fitted to the pipe by flange joint. This device works on the same principle as that of the Venturi meter. So the flow measurement is based on the differential pressure principle, which was discovered by Swiss mathematician and physicist Daniel Bernoulli 300 years ago. He discovered that the direct relationship between the pressure and the speed of the fluid flowing in a pipe. So here's how the measurement method works. So the differential pressure flow meters have an artificial restriction integrated into the measuring tube. So in this uh, orifice meter, which the example is the orifice plate, which restricts the flow of the fluid. So two holes are located in the pipe wall. One is before the orifice plate, and the other one is after the orifice plate. So two separate tubes connect these holes to a differential pressure sensor. So this sensor will measure the tiniest pressure differences. So if the fluid is not flowing, the pressure before the tube and after the orifice plate is essentially identical. So as soon as the fluid flow starts, the velocity around the orifice plate increases significantly because of the restriction in the cross section. So at the same time, due to the loss of the fluid mechanics, the static pressure at this point decreases. Consequently, different values are detected in the pressure chambers of the sensor. So the pressure difference is directly proportional to the flow velocity and thus to the mass and volume flow in the pipe. The higher the flow velocity and the resulting drop in pressure around the orifice plate, the greater the differential pressure measured. So let's go now to the advantages and disadvantages of the orifice meter. So let's go to the advantages first. First is the simplicity and cost. So orifice meters are relatively simple in design and cost effective compared to the other flow measurement devices. Number two is versatility. So they can be used for a wide range of fluids, including gases, liquids, and steams. And last is no moving parts. So the lack of moving parts reduces maintenance and needs and increases reliability. So let's go to disadvantages. The first one is pressure loss. So orifice meters create a significant permanent pressure drop due to the restriction of the orifice plate, which it affects the efficiency of the system. The third is the accuracy. So the accuracy is influenced by factors such as flow disturbances, wear and tear of the orifice plate, or the buildup of debris in the fluid. And last is the rangeability. So they have limited range of flow rates over which they can provide accurate measurements. So let's go now to the application of orifice meters. Uh, Number one is the oil and gas. So they are used for measuring the flow of natural gas and petroleum products. Second is water treatment. So for monitoring water flow in the treatment plants, they are used. And third is the chemical processing for controlling and measuring the flow of chemicals in the process industries. And last is the power generation for measuring steam and other fluids in power plants.
Good day everyone, I'm Lizal Mipiokaman and today I will discuss to you the problem in the Venturimeter. So, first, basahin muna natin yung problem. A Venturimeter shown below is used to measure the flow speed of water in pipe. If the pressure difference or delta P between position 1 and 2 is 38 centimeters of mercury and then the area 1 is equal to area 2, then what is the velocity 1? So, makikita po dito natin ang ating Venturimeter and dito yung ating velocity 1 and yung velocity dito. So, incomprehensible po yung ating flow. So, para yung given natin is yung delta P or yung difference ng P1 and P2 is 38 centimeters of mercury and yung area 1 nga natin is yung 2 area 2. Then yung required is yung first velocity 1. So since incomprehensible yung ating fluid flow dito is gagamit tayo ng Bernoulli's equation. So ito yung ating formula na P1 minus P2 over density plus V1 squared minus V2 squared over 2GC plus G times height 1 minus height 2 over GC plus the efficiency of power is equal to friction. Since wala yung height and wala yung efficiency and wala din tayong friction, so ang matitira sa ating formula is delta P over density plus V1 squared minus V2 squared over 2GC equals to 0. And then, since area yung binigay sa atin and velocity yung kukunin natin, gagamit tayo ng continuity equation. So, yung ating continuity equation sa incomprehensible flow is A1 times V1 equals A2 times V2. So, since sinabi sa atin, binigay sa atin yung ating area 1 is equal to 2 area 2, isa-substitute natin siya ngayon dito. So, ang magiging formula natin is A1 V1 equals A1 over 2 times V2. Since both side is my area 1, pwede natin siyang i-cancel and then yung matitira is yung V2 is equal to V1. Then, since naka-centimeters yung centimeters of mercury yung ating pressure, i-convert natin ngayon sa Pascal. So, sa 76 na centimeters of mercury, meron tayong 101,325 Pascal. So, ang ating pressure difference ngayon is 50,662.5 Pascal. And then last is isi-substitute naman natin lahat ng given and sa mga formula na nakuha natin sa ating Bernoulli's equation. So, magiging ito yung original na ating na-derive kanina since tag-cancel-cancel tayo. Ngayon, isi-substitute naman yung continuity equation. So, magiging delta P over density plus V1 squared minus 2V1 squared over 2GC is equal to 0. And then, i-input na natin yung mga given. Since water yung ating liquid, so ang gagamitin nating density is yung density ng water. So, isi-substitute na nga natin yung 50,662.5 Pascal over 1,000 plus V1 squared minus 4V1 squared over 2 and then yung ating gravitational constant is equal to 0. And then, gagamit lang tayo ng algebra dito, mga cross-multiply, ganyan. So, since naka-squared yung ating V1, para makuha natin siya, kailangan natin siyang i-square root both side para makuha natin. So, solving this, makuha natin na yung ating velocity 1 is equal to 5.81 meter per second.
Good day everyone, my name is James Carlo Paleg and I'm here to teach the sample problem of P-tooth. P-tooth static tube is mounted on an aircraft traveling at a speed 300 km per hour against a wind velocity of 20 km per hour. If the specific weight of air is 12 Newton per cubic meter, determine the pressure difference the instrument will register. So, ang given natin dito, by the way, ang hinanap pa natin dito sa problem na to, yung pressure. Yung pressure na hinahanap yung difference ng pressure. So, ang given, aircraft velocity is equal to 300 km per hour. Para ma-convert natin siya sa meter per seconds, kailangan natin i-multiply natin siya sa 1,000 meter over 1 kilometer times 1 hour over 3,600, which is makukuha natin tong 83.333 meter per seconds. At sa wind velocity naman, gano'n din ang gagawin natin. 20 km per hour times 1,000 meter over 1 kilometer times 1 hour over 3,600 seconds is equal to 5.556 meter per seconds. So, ang total velocity natin is V is equal to 83.333 plus 5.556 is equal to 88.889 meter per seconds. So mag-proceed na tayo sa ating solution. So ang solution, ang formula pala ng Pitot problem is B is equal to CV square root of 2 multiplied by DH. Since meron na tayong V kanina, yung total velocity na nakuha natin, which is yung 88.889, ang gagawin na lang natin dito sa formula natin is direct substitution na lang. Ang gagawin natin is 88.889 alpha equal 0.98 square root of 2 times 9.81 times h. So, isip solve lang natin. Ang lalabas dyan is 419.319 meter. Ito yon, yung 409.319 meter, which is yung h na hinahanap natin sa ating formula. Doon sa problem natin, ang hinahanap natin is yung pressure, yung difference pressure. Para makuha natin yung pressure na yon, ganito ang gagawin natin. Delta P is equal to 419.319 meter times 12 Newton per cubic meter. So, kunin ulit natin yung calculator natin, 419.319 times 12 is equal to 5,031.828 Newton per meter squared. Kaya naging meter squared na lang siya kasi kakancel mo yung meter dito, tapos magiging square na lang to. Kaya ito yung final answer natin is 5,000.31828 Newton per meter square. Thank you.
So now let's go to the flow rate calculation of the orifice meter. As you can see in the equation, Q is equal to CD multiplied by A multiplied by square root of 2GH, wherein the Q is the flow rate, CD is the discharge coefficient, and A is the area orifice. And G is the acceleration due to gravity, which is equivalent to 9.81 meter per second square. And H is the distance between the water level and the center of the orifice. So here is an example problem for the orifice meter. Let's read. Determine the flow rate through an orifice that has a diameter of 50 millimeter and a mean center line of 200 millimeter. Take the coefficient of the discharge, CD, as a 0.8. Now let's list the given. First is the diameter, which is the 50 millimeter. Height of the orifice is 200 millimeter. And the discharge coefficient is 0.8. So we are looking for the flow rate of the fluid. So using the equation, Q is equal to CD multiplied by A multiplied by square root of 2GH. So substituting all the given, 0.8 multiplied by the formula of the area of the diameter, pi over 4 times 50, converting the millimeter to meter. Then after that, we go to square root of 2 multiplied by the acceleration due to gravity, which is 9.81 meter per second square, and then multiplying the height, which is 200 meter, and then converting again to meter. Simplifying the equation, 0.8 times 0.02 square meter and multiplied by 1.981 meter per second. Simplifying furthermore, we get Q is equal to 0.0032 cubic meter per second. So this is the flow rate of the fluid flowing through the pipe.